Namaste guys, आप सब कैसे हो? मैं ठीक हूँ. I hope you're doing fine. And today we're having a very interesting topic, an alternative payment system at Brics, de-dollarization. Actually, Russia is switched off from SWIFT, if you know, or maybe you don't know. And we have a lot of problems nowadays with money transactions. And of course, Russians are very interested in this topic. So guys, don't forget to support me, give me a thumbs up, and let's go.
This week, Russian President Vladimir Putin scored a big win. Despite Western efforts to isolate him, he just wrapped up a Brics summit. Russia hosted leaders from 36 countries in the city of Kazan, and Putin took this opportunity to make an appeal. He asked Brics nations to ditch the Western banking order.
The dollar was used as a weapon, it is true, and we see that. I think it is a great mistake by those who do it.
Putin says the West weaponizes the dollar, and he has a point. But what's the solution? Well, he says the BRICS should have their own payment system, an alternative to the Western system, which is called SWIFT. And what is SWIFT? Imagine you're a banker, a customer comes to you, they want to send money abroad, and they give you all the details like how much money needs to be transferred, the bank details of the recipients, and so on. So you have those details. Now it is your job to make sure that the money ends up in the right place. How do you do that? You see, for international transfers, banks have a special messaging system. Think of it as a secure WhatsApp for banks, or their version of it. This system is called SWIFT. So as a bank, when you transfer money for your customer, you open
It was a nice comparison, by the way.
the SWIFT system. There you send a message to the recipient's bank. This message tells them how much money is being sent and where it needs to go. Now, while SWIFT does not move the money itself, it makes sure that the money ends up in the right place. SWIFT stands for Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication, SWIFT.
Okay.
SWIFT is what enables international banking. So the system plays a vital role. Without it, you cannot participate in international banking. More than 11,000 banks and financial institutions use the SWIFT system. They are based in more than 200 countries.
Yeah, this is really sad that Russia is switched off from SWIFT. I don't know how we live in general.
Territories. Now, SWIFT is technically a neutral organization. It is based in Belgium, but the West wields significant influence over SWIFT. The system itself was created by a consortium of US and European banks in 1973. So if Western nations want, they can push a country out of SWIFT, and that's exactly what they did to Russia. When Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, Western nations sanctioned 7 Russian banks. They were removed from the SWIFT system. Effectively, these banks were cut off from global trade and international markets. They could not finance.
I want to say that that day when it happened, we were like, what is going on? Like, how we will live? But still we live somehow. Actually, I don't know all the processes, but yeah, it is possible, you know.
Finance international projects. They could not make or receive payments from their customers outside. So you can imagine why Putin is upset with the Western system and why he's pushing BRICS to come up with an alternative. Another villain in the story is the US dollar. It dominates the global banking system. So Putin is talking about de-dollarization. In fact, BRICS has been discussing this for a while. In the last summit too, de-dollarization came up. South Africa was the host then. BRICS leaders agreed to keep talking, but they haven't been able to come up with any alternatives yet. Individually, BRICS members have their own arrangements. They trade in their native currencies, mostly through bilateral arrangements. And the group may want to de-dollarize, but central banks across the world are not ready for this. They still depend on the greenback. Most foreign exchange reserves are still held in the US dollar. The share of the US dollar in forex reserves internationally stands at 59%. So how can the BRICS break the dollar's hegemony? Can India help in building an alternative system? At the Kazan summit, Prime Minister Modi made a pitch for India's UPI.
UPI?
ब्रिक्स देशों के बीच फाइनेंशियल इंटीग्रेशन बढ़ाने के लिए प्रयासों का हम स्वागत करते हैं। लोकल करेंसीज में व्यापार और सुगम रूप से क्रॉस बॉर्डर पेमेंट से हमारा आर्थिक सहयोग सुदृढ़ होगा। भारत द्वारा बनाया गया यूनिफाइड पेमेंट्स इंटरफेस यानी यूपीआई भारत की एक बहुत बड़ी सक्सेस स्टोरी है। इसे कई देशों में अपनाया गया है।
Prime Minister Modi was referring to the UAE, the newly minted member of Brics. This year, UPI was introduced in Dubai. UPI stands for Unified Payment System. It is the backbone of digital payments in India. So far, the UPI has been rolled out in 7 countries, and this list is expected to grow in the coming months. Over 30 countries have shown interest in adopting this Indian system. So should the Brics consider using it too? Well, the idea is appealing, but not without its own set of challenges. Like how would a single platform handle multiple currencies? How do you settle transactions in real time without the risk of currency devaluation? More importantly, how do you build consensus among member countries to adopt the UPI? Would India, for instance, be willing to share the UPI with members like China, a neighbor that keeps challenging India's sovereignty? Clearly, a lot of work needs to be done on all these fronts. Having said that, the Brics must keep exploring all alternatives. You see, the global order cannot be changed in one day, but it can certainly be challenged, one initiative at a time.
For sure. So guys, I want to say that all big changes are very hard to handle in the world, and of course, if you're talking about geopolitics, it's a very big challenge for all countries just to listen to each other, to come to the common ground, right, to cooperate, and I don't know how they're going to do it, but I actually like this idea, of course, because we can be more independent from the West, but one problem that really a lot of countries nowadays depend on dollar, and it's a very, very big challenge. But everything is possible, right? So we just need some time. Everything will be fine. So guys, tell me in the comments what you think about this situation, and I will be very interested to read your comments. And guys, if you like this video, you can of course subscribe to my channel, follow me on my Instagram, and see you soon. Bye bye.